He's seen pictures that I've done that I don't remember doing.
Wow.
He'll tell me lines of dialogue that I said in something 30 years ago.
So when I did finally meet with him, he repeated verbatim lines from my Linklater doc.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't tend to get like starstruck, but in that moment, I was like,
Welcome to The Loop, brought to you by the Mammoth Film Festival. My name is Brett Davern, and I'm sitting down with director Tara Wood and actor Michael Madsen, fresh off the screening of QT8, the big opening night gala event here at the Mammoth Film Festival this year. Congratulations, guys.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. How did last night go, Tara?
It was great. It's the first time Michael saw it, so I was really nervous in the back.
I
But it was
didn't
great.
know that she was nervous for me seeing it. Very flattering that she cared one way or another. But, you know, I always liked her, obviously, and I know she's talented, obviously. But seeing it for the first time was kind of cool that I didn't see it up till then because I got to watch it with her. And any misgivings I had about it certainly got taken care of last night because, my gosh, she's so good, you know.
Mm-hmm. It was really special too because Mammoth Film Festival was able to get some exclusive, never-before-seen footage from the documentary that played before, you know, the feature documentary. That was pretty cool to share with us.
I thought that was the beginning, actually, when that came on. I thought that was
Yeah,
was
we
it.
should have probably introed
When
that
it
a little bit
stopped, I go,
better
"Is that it?"
that way. I like that intro though because you meet the people that you don't necessarily know that are behind the camera, and you learn how important they are to Quentin and how they fit in, like Scotty Spiegel, Stacey Sher, Gladstein. So yeah, it was fun to see that.
Tara, talk to me about how the film kind of came to be and came together in the first place, because you directed a documentary about Richard Linklater, right, the director, and then Tarantino was up next for you, or is that how it went, or how did you come to it originally?
So I've spent a lot of time in Austin, Texas. Rick is from there, Linklater's from there. Quentin spent a lot of time there. So there was, and Rodriguez is there. So those three ran around a lot together. I heard about them a lot. And what I would hear about Quentin, what you hear in the news about him is huge and big and explosive and, you know.
And usually not true.
Yeah, and then on the street or in Austin, I'd hear, oh man, that guy is such a nice guy. He's all hard, he's so warm. I was like, what is the story on this guy? So it was natural because they're friends, but I was so intrigued, not only because he's Quentin as a filmmaker and amazing and genius and nobody like him, but this other side, I was like, what is this? And then getting into it, meeting people like Michael and the rest of his team and the people that he works with over and over, there's more to it than the screen.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and I think that's what makes him even better, is that his heart is there.
He's a complicated guy.
Yeah, he is.
You know, in a lot of ways. It's impossible to. You know, I meet people all the time, and one of the first things what's it like working with Quentin? You know, if I had a dime for every time I've been asked that, I could retire, but it's, what are you supposed to say? I never know what to say, because you can't answer the question. It's way too big of a subject. It's really...
It's like he's
insane.
proficient
Yeah.
in everything. You
Very
know?
decisive guy, you know. He comes on the set before anybody's even there, and he just walks around by himself looking at everything and thinking about exactly what he's going to shoot and how he's going to do it. And then he invites everybody in, you know? And it's like, okay, he knows what he's going to do when he wakes up in the morning. You know, how many of us can say that?
Terry, you got great access to a lot of really great actors and producers and people that have worked with Quentin over the years in QT8. Can you talk about the process of getting a hold of these people and getting them to sit down, and the way they really opened up to you too was really awesome.
Yeah, it was really, especially Michael. I'm so happy you're sitting here, because you're like you really brought so much to this. So because Quentin liked the Linklater doc, he gave me his blessing to move forward with his. And he said, I don't want to meet you until it's done.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh no. I was like, who am I going to bounce things off of? Is it going to be okay? And it kind of broke my heart a little bit, you know, but especially after everything that's happened in between.
Yeah.
For him, for him not to be involved, of course he was right. because there was no influence. And because of his love of filmmaking and his appreciation of other people's vision, he didn't want to get in the way of mine. So it turned out correct, of course. And access was easy because he did give his blessing. So if anybody had a question, they'd call Quentin. He said, "Yep, I'm in." And
Yeah. Because when I first heard about you and what you were gonna do, if I would have got one phone call from him and said, "There's Michael, that Terry girl, whatever," I wouldn't have done it. Right. But I never got that call, obviously, and I just trusted her right off the bat because I knew that he did. And it's funny that you guys didn't meet. Because I never met Quentin until I was already cast in Reservoir Dogs. I was already cast as Mr. Bond. I had never even met the guy. So,
No,
it's, how many times you say that about people?
Do you remember your first impression of him when you did meet him?
I was trying to get the role of Mr. Pink. And I was trying to convince him that I could play Mr. Pink. And he stood in the corner of the room with his arms folded, just watching me. I don't think he liked my Mr. Pink interpretation very much. So I thought that I had failed, meeting him. And he just pointed his finger and said, "You're not Mr. Pink." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I was leaving the room, and he said, "You're Mr. Blonde or you're not in the movie." And that was the first time we met. Pretty decisive thing to say, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in the picture, but I thought he was... It takes a while to get to know him. I mean, he doesn't wear his heart on his shoulder, but, there's always something new with him. That's all I can say, right?
Well, speaking of Reservoir Dogs, in the doc, you talk about, there's a lot of talk of the wardrobe in Reservoir Dogs. And you talk about your suit in particular, not a matching jacket with matching pants. Where is that jacket and pants right now?
I have it.
You do?
Yeah, my sister in Wisconsin had it in her closet for the past 20 years. And I remembered recently that we had a bad fire in Malibu. My house in Malibu burnt to the ground. And a lot of my memorabilia and a lot of my stuff burned up in the house. And I went through this bad psychic trip, a head trip, that I didn't have anything left from my career. And I remembered I'd sent the freaking suit to my sister in Wisconsin. And I called her up, I asked her if she still had it. And she put it she put it in a box and overnighted it to me. So I have it. I have the jacket and the pants, all right? Which don't match, but he told everybody to come to work in a black suit. And so I did. I didn't have a black suit. I had pants and a jacket, but they didn't go together. It's all true, man. The only thing they gave us was a tie. They had ties for everybody. That was it.
Wow. Wow. Tara, what do you hope audiences leave the theater saying after seeing the documentary?
I hope they had a good time. I hope they learned things that they didn't know before. And I hope that they, if you're a filmmaker, I hope it's inspiring to learn about where he came from and who he is and how much he's adored by everybody who works with him. That's important. Some people kind of go through this Hollywood life with a very different attitude than that.
Yeah.
He's a special guy. I hope people just take that with them.
He doesn't suffer fools very well. Believe me, if he don't like you, you're gonna find out right away. Because he won't even get the time of day. But that's that's a protective. I envy that. You know what I mean? I've known people who are nice to everybody, and it gets in your way sometimes.
Well, he's decisive, like you said, on that side too.
Yeah. David Carradine was like that. Very decisive.
What is it about Moesha that you think Quentin likes so much?
I never knew that until last night.
Isn't that funny?
I never knew that.
I'd love to ask him. I have no idea. That's a good question for Quentin next time I run into him.
He's seen pictures that I've done that I don't remember doing.
Wow.
He'll tell me lines of dialogue that I said in something 30 years ago that I don't even remember saying. Do you remember when you said that? And he'll say it. And I go, oh my God. How do you know that? How can you know that? It's amazing. I don't know where he finds the time to see all these things because he's so busy.
And remember, so when I did finally meet with him, he repeated verbatim lines from my Linklater doc.
Did he really?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not surprised.
And I don't tend to get like starstruck, but in that moment, I was like,
Yeah. Where does he find all the time of the day to be
That's
such a
what I-
prolific
Yeah.
Or in
writer,
his head.
director, and watch all this stuff? Yeah.
Oh, and meanwhile, he'll be writing another screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember I went to his house and I was at his house one day and there's all these pages all laying all over the floor in the kitchen, just scattered all over the place. Everything's handwritten, by the way, block printing, right? And I said, "What the hell is that?" And he goes, "Oh, it's a script of mine, Kill Bill." And I was like, "Wow, well, you know, that's chapter 1, that's chapter 2 over here, that's chapter 3." That's the first time I even heard of Kill Bill was seeing that paper on the floor.
There's a lot of talk in the documentary from a lot of the actors about the freedom that he creates for you as an actor on set to make choices and be free in those choices. I mean, how is that something he actively talks to you about, or is that just something that sort of happens because he lets the takes run, or?
Gosh, I don't know. I've seen him make people do 4 or 5, 7 takes, and people you would not expect to be made to do that many takes. But me, for some weird reason, I'll do maybe 3, and that's it. And that's usually because something's wrong with the camera or something. I'm as good as I'm going to be right out of the box, you know. And I can never do it the same way twice. It's kind of impossible, really. But I think he gave me. I was thinking this morning about what you're asking me, and you know, the fact that he trusted me not to do the torture scene until we shot it built up in me such a desire to make him happy. I wanted to make him happy. I wanted to make him glad that he gave me that job. And I knew that if I did that really good, that would make me okay, right? That was what my motivation was, to do that, was to have him be happy. Because he never saw me do that. And I never did it in rehearsal. But he trusted me to do that. It gave me the confidence to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Bruce Dern said something similar to that too.
Bruce
Where
was funny.
it became Bruce wanting to impress Quentin. It wasn't about, you know, he wanted to own that character. You know, you want to do the best you can with, you know, what your job is, but it became about pleasing Quentin.
I was scared to death to do that scene. I had no excuse me, I had no idea. I had no idea what I was going to do. And,
It was brilliant.
well,
I mean,
Yeah,
some of the
iconic.
best scenes
Big
ever
accident.
in
Absolutely.
film, right?
Yeah,
accident,
absolutely.
man.
Well,
Yeah, who
thanks.
knew?
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for sitting down with us, and thanks for sharing QT8 with the
Thank
Mammoth
you.
Film Festival. And that's Mammoth FF, keeping you in the loop. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.